Hey, Gemini. Hello, my friends. I hope you're doing well. A CME hit the planet. I don't know if you guys were watching that or not. I would have been, but I was curled up in bed, taking the hit, taking it for the team. Man, it was terrible. Woke up today and I was still like, but I just did a reading and I felt fine, and I thought, well, let's hang out with Gemini and see how it turns out. So hello, Gemini. Let's do this thing together, shall we? Okay. Happy birthday, Gemini. It is your birthday season. I hope you guys are cute and flirty and eating all the goodies. No, honestly though, I hope that you are celebrated. I do. And if nobody is there to celebrate you, then you go out into the world and you celebrate yourself. I learned that when I was I want to say I was 21. I went out and bought myself a birthday present, and I put "To me, from me, love me." And I set it on my bureau, and people would come in my room and they'd pick up the present and they'd be like, "What is this?" And I'd be like, "That's my birthday present. I don't get to open it till my birthday." It works. Yeah, screw them all, man. Go celebrate your dang self. No, but seriously, it's your birthday season. And so many of you have been on my mind. I want to thank you guys for hanging in with me. It has been rough, but we're coming close to the other side of this thing. So just a little bit more push, right? Show me Gemini, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for June 2025. What's going on with Gemini for June 2025, please? Gemini energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Ooh, that's a good card to have. Chariot card, it can represent a Sagittarius, also a Cancer energy, but it can also indicate a strong determination. I tell John that sometimes. I say, be strong like bull. And that's the Chariot card. It's one person waking up and saying, you know what, I'm doggone determined, and I'm not going to let anything slow me down. So get out the way. You know how they say, get out the way. Oh, wow. The ending card, 10 of Cups. Well done. I'll move these down so you can see them. This one's a Page of Pentacles. Okay. 7 of Swords coming out. And on the underside of the deck, we have the Page of Wands in the upright. Okay. So notice the wands. Where's my handy dandy? There we go. Queen of Cups in the upright. This is taking care of oneself, but it can also be a very loving, nurturing energy, you know, where someone is showing you some love and some goodness there. I like the Queen of Cups because she indicates someone who knows you well enough that they know what you like. So this Queen of Cups here, it could be just a feeling, but it could be a person if you're dealing with a water sign. So coming in to the reading, part of the challenge is laying down your wands, which probably you don't feel like doing right now. Hold on real quick. Let me get familiar with the cards. Notice that the only major arcana we have is that Chariot. So it does talk about a strong determination. I'm going to pause it real quick because I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to save your time, and I'm going to look at the cards. Okay, look, I'm getting too many messages. I turned the camera back on. And we're going, okay. The first thing that I got was the Seven of Swords. Someone is squawking. Here it is. Someone is squawking. They're squawking. Yeah. And then I got this Five of Wands in the reverse and the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So, to me, this is a victory won, but it's won out of anger and out of frustration. Somebody dropped something. And they could be very angry about it and very upset. I think that we're describing someone else, if I'm honest with you. Because this anger kind of carries over into a way where you may ask a person whether or not they're lying to you about something. Because there's a relationship here with quite possibly a male where something was swiftly dropped. It could be anger around it. If this is a one-night stand, Gemini, then if I'm honest, you're upset that somebody else could have dropped you very swiftly, because here I have trying to find the truth and trying to go in after the truth. This is not something that you routinely ask of this person. It's also not something that is routinely done. You know what I mean? This could be a secret or something that's held close to the chest of another person because to them it's valuable. Now, the other person looking at you is seeing that you're quite steady. This is sort of like calling someone and saying, hey, can we have a sit down? I want to have a sit down with you because I'm looking at, I think this Seven of Wands actually has quite a bit to it. We go from the 5 to the 7 to the 8. And part of the challenge here is kind of knowing some of the story, knowing what the heck with the story. There's a choice, yes, that's going to be in front of us, and one that might include wealth, money, a position, but some of this is grooming some sort of skill. And if you are younger than the other person, they may have a bit more life experience than you do, knowing what kind of comes next. I also get on this side of things, Gemini, that you may be in a position where, to me with the Queen of Pentacles here, the Page of Pentacles, I'm sort of sensing an offer to come and help someone out. This could also be an in, you know, like I want to talk with this person and offer to come help and assist them write something. I don't know, this is something small, like let me bring the package in for them, but there's some sort of in, and it's a question that's kind of asking them what they're up to, so that you can have a difficult conversation with them, trying to solve this Three of Swords to see if there's any truth to it. So let's go ahead and solve that little mystery right off the bat. So show me here, show me the Knight of Wands in the reverse for Gemini, please. All right, it's showing the Ace of Swords. This is a cheating energy, someone who has purposefully kind of skated out of a difficult conversation so that perhaps they look better than what they probably do, feel, or what they think, or what they know. There's been a challenging conversation attached to this with someone who's been spending some time in meditation, seeing, I don't know, it's like a head over heart situation that I'm seeing here. But there's definite avoidance. Like, I want to maybe even pull somebody off track. I'm going to tell them we're going this way, and then I don't want to argue with you about it, because I know that you have a lot to say about my next moves going forward. There's too many unknowns kind of sitting here. And someone who did not have control of the situation. We have a soulmate card coming out. It's in the reverse. And again, the energy that would talk about, you know, all I have is what's in my imagination until you show me some proof or you tell me kind of what happened in this situation. There is quite possibly an earth sign up here, somebody with a skill set, you know, that's asking for you to pick up and take control of this, to bring unity, because the 10 of Cups in the upright, this is unity, sound mind, bringing something together. Maybe this earth sign has asked you to do something with the Knight of Cups in the upright, to address something. And I do see like a very bold move. I do. All of a sudden it kind of hit me in my solar plexus, where someone is wanting to step up to the plate, because maybe some of these lies, some of the things that are hidden away from view, if these things were done behind your back or before you kind of showed up to the scene, it's sort of like an energy that says, okay, enough's enough. If this is what this person is saying and what they're kind of going after, I need to hear the truth from you, or I need to come and see you to pick up the reality of this, because there's too many boats. I have a lot of boats, a lot of water, too many emotions here over what another person has said. Now, if you have been working in close connection with another family member, Gemini, I'm seeing that person could be a fire sign, but they're sort of sitting in a position where they're like, I'm not going to take any more action on this. And Gemini is standing up and saying, well, dang it all, I am. You know, I need to know which way we're going to move forward with this. And if I have to have a challenging conversation with someone, then I'm just going to call them up and try to see what's going on. There is family energy here. You know, there's family energy. Do you know what? I don't know how many Geminis I'm talking to, but I'm seeing somebody's cat. A cat being an issue and not necessarily having a solution for this cat. Sacrifice. And that's another 7. Or, I'm sorry, that's the 12. That's the 12. So that's the Hangman. And it talks about being in a pause, waiting and watching to see what another person is going to do. Okay. Show me what's going to happen here for Gemini, please. If you guys have been waiting for a job situation or looking at a particular job situation, like in front of you, I get that it's much more important for you to go sit with someone. I don't know if you're in one of those countries or in one of those counties. I think every county here in the United States has like a job force sort of place. You might want to go sit and talk with a specialist to work on a resume or to submit something for a job or a position. The need is great for whatever position this is that you're applying to. Some of you are receiving a new person into the workplace, and you may be called upon to take this person around or to train them in some fashion. Yep, you may be dealing with a Pisces. I have an Aries. I'm hearing the words, what did you think you were going to get out of this? Like if this was the direction that you were going to go in, what did you think that you were going to get out of this? There's been somebody here who has cut off communication with another person, and there's a little bit of separation between you and them right now. I do see that. See, that's what I'm saying. There's the Seven of Swords with the Six of Swords in the reverse. This is someone who wants to have a challenging conversation with another person, but they want to know the truth. They don't want to keep hanging on to whatever this is. The communication that was given may speak badly about someone's character, and there may be record of that. Someone's asking another person to trust them for like whatever happened and whatever went down. I want you to trust, trust that this was or that this wasn't the truth. And I kind of catch that, I don't know, it feels to me like someone they can't help themselves. I don't know if they're helpless, if they're disabled, or if they're in a position where they can't follow through with something because of the interruption. Well, it's not just an interruption. It's almost like they're not in the right place to carry this Nine of Wands out. And that's why I'm saying geographically, maybe they're far away from you. Sometimes the Nine of Wands can talk about a prison card. Maybe this person was subpoenaed to court or something. There's another boat. These thoughts won't leave this person's mind. And of course, Gemini, you just have to know, right? This is like Gemini stepping up and saying, screw it all. I'm going to go do it my dang self. That's it. I'm going to go figure out how to do this thing on my own. Just a lot of worry and a lot of stress that someone could be right. And that's part of the problem, right? Is finding out that someone paid to do something awful. Someone could have put money in to help another person do something awful. I'm hearing for their own selfish, gain in some sort of way. To one person here, Gemini, it means more than what it means to the other. Because the other person is sort of saying, well, it's like a boogeyman thing. If I set it up where looking down a certain road is going to scare you off, then this person could have given you quite a bit of that, feeding into an emotional upset. But with the Ten of Cups here, it would be like using something very happy to kind of distract you from looking down that road. I mean, what would it mean to you to find out the truth? Because over here I have someone who is celebrating, doing something foolish, a celebration of some sort. Could be a purchase of something as well. This is sort of like saying, I find it hard to believe that someone would drop such a responsibility. But the worry and the concern is still there. I don't think you like hearing certain words about someone you love. But I do also think that if it's true, then it's true. And if bringing you peace, because this person's they're not going to talk. They try to keep you happy, or they're trying to keep it all happy. I'm going to put that Two of Cups there. You might be dealing with a Scorpio as well. For some of you, this is proving someone wrong. It would explain a lot. See this little feeling? You just cannot get away from this little feeling. This person up here is sort of saying, yes, I still have this as a wish. No, I can't believe that they would do something like this. However, I can see how under desperate situation, a certain relationship would end. I can also see this other person going through the motions of trying to represent themselves or stand up for themselves. One person is missing 6 pentacles. The other person is only missing 3. We're looking for something. We're looking for a document. Do you know what? I know this sounds nuts. This is sort of like, what would it profit this person to say no? It's looking at agendas, like what would it profit this person to say no? Why else would they hold something back from you? Why else would they keep it secret? Sort of like, what are all the reasons someone would keep it secret? And even if we don't like thinking about those things, I have someone who's encouraging here, like encouraging someone to think these thoughts, even though they're kind of torturous. This person that's saying we have to think about the motive. That's what I want to say. What else would be this person's motive than to keep something silent and in reserve, to kind of say that a process is finished when it's not, other than to be selfish in some sort of way. Like, what else would this person, thinking of motives. So I'm going to lay these cards right here because this could help us out a little bit. Why not? And while we're at it, oh look, I'm finding more of my cards that are mingled. The person on the right, Gemini, this person has really big plans over here for a happiness, something that they've been waiting on, a new beginning, yes, but also one that has a little bit of risk attached to it. So truth that brings healing, that's the first card right there. And so this is, sitting quite possibly with a Scorpio and being very transparent, but also asking this Sagittarius for transparency as well. I'm also hearing an energy that sort of says, what would our parents want us to do? Here we have child of God and grace attached to that. One person gets left in the cold, the other person gets set free, but only because they, this is not speaking fully about what's going on in the background. Inspiration is a gift. This is someone who didn't tell you the whole story, a shamanic test. of the unconscious. So yeah, Gemini's being asked to dig and to reach for that, the shadow and unconscious. I think this is somebody that you would, that you love. But this is also someone who sees a multitude of options in front of them and may find it very tempting to want to keep all of their wishes open in some way. I'm also kind of catching here that it's almost like whether for good or whether for bad, someone is seeing how another person's imagination is kind of getting the better of them. I can see that. Distance and pulling away from someone. And so they had a desire, maybe it was a temptation, and then they discovered that it didn't do what they wanted it to do. And now they're walking out of a green, lush place into kind of a barren place. And I'm seeing the 9 sort of come out. So this could be a spiritual challenge for someone in a really big way. See this Page of Cups in the reverse back here? This is someone who is showing some sort of attitude. It's a bad attitude. And maybe they've decided to fully just get up and walk away from it all. But just because they walk away doesn't mean that they can't, they're still going to need to build something. Could it have been a mistake? Could it have been a misrepresentation? And that's not really what I'm catching here, Gemini. I see someone who's wanting to make an offer to another person. A try of some sort. Show me this, please, for Gemini. I think this is just really... Why else would this be the case? Who would be benefiting from a situation where they only told you partial truths? Because they didn't want to take things any further with one of the people. There's a lot of pain associated with the history here. A lot of words that were spoken. And there's karma attached. Right? Someone left out in the open. Someone not protected. And then we have the Tower. Yeah, it's like too much shady information around one person for why they just dropped something and stopped doing, right? $21, that's the Judgment card. Yeah, see, and then moving something forward, and now they're emotionally wasted on someone that they actually did this magician thing with the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. Gemini, you're going to find this thing. It's going to be really screwy. You're going to find this thing. And it is something that this person has kept hidden. They wanted to get free, so they end up listening to their fears about a process that isn't moving fast enough for them in some way. They say some hurtful things out the door. You're going to find a piece of information here that is true, and it's going to be kind of hard to believe at first. Yeah, it's going to bother you. It's sort of saying do more research. Gemini, you need to do more research on this. Look at the peacock. You need to find out more information on this, because this isn't... No. No. One of these things just doesn't belong here. Somebody makes a judgment call. You can't really believe that's what they said. I know I'm repeating myself. Holiness and grace. Heartbreak around a relationship. I'm also seeing Gemini, see the control in relationship. Tearing one's heart in two. Somebody being very sharp with another person. There are some resentful things that have been held in, Gemini, and this person didn't speak them out loud. There's also been some sort of control around money, obsession around money, sharp words about money and how much money someone makes. Gemini, I'm picking up that if you are partnered with someone, they may have asked to move in together, and I don't see that working out right now. I see it, and it very well could be Gemini that's sort of like, no, we're not in a place to do that. We're not in a place yet to have children. We're not in a place until we until we purchase a house. You know, we're not going to make that choice until someone makes a better job. Or we're not going to do that until, and it's sort of a boundary, but the way that it's being spoken is kind of sharp and unnecessary from what I can see. I also do kind of catch between these cards here that we have this earth sign individual who could have created a lot of scary tactics to make sure that someone wouldn't succeed at something, doing something. Like they could have created a lot of fear tactics. And for some of you, this person was afraid and they went on and ran out the door and separated themselves out. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just sat in their fear for a little bit until it passed by. Now this person is sort of obsessing, or they're worried, they're concerned. Show me some cards for Gemini, please, because of the position that they're in. If there's this who did what to whom kind of going on, see it as a distraction at the moment. See, the Temperance card is in the reverse. So we could be dealing with a Sag who's like really upset. I have a person sort of showing up and saying, you know, if I show up and I hang out with a person, don't get anything strange in your head. I'm not there to pick a fight with you, or I'm not there to challenge history with you. I don't know, this is like someone holding their own happiness back because they don't want the wrong idea coming out. I do see a challenging choice coming up because of a piece of information that is going to show up. And it's going to point towards someone who kept their head down, always working, instead of meditating and thinking about how to step out into a new beginning. There's that Two of Swords again, and the Ten of Swords. And this is someone who got so upset they just hid a bunch of stuff behind their back instead of sharing it. In comes a piece of news, and someone's wanting to push forward to see if what this person said about things is true. Again, it's like all the same cards. Man, curiosity, right? Curiosity and the doggone cat. It would be like somebody is challenging to you, and so you're just not going to try because they're challenging, you know? I'm not going to go near them. I'm not going to get involved, even though I want to. You know, I want to fix stuff with this person. I want to go hang out with that person. But We may also have something joyous coming up, like a reunion of some sort. I see Gemini sort of shutting down any offers of people asking for handouts at this time. You may also be reserving your time so that you can find yourself in a more free space. Ace of Pentacles to the Five of Wands. Someone paying another person to stand down. Someone bribing them. Someone could also be like, no, they never. No, they would never. Like the Two of Cups and the Page of Wands in the reverse. Whoever told this information to you, I mean, I think there is going to be anger. I'm just curious as to... See, but that's where I think it's wrong. I think there's a fire sign that, you know what, says the stuff that this person is saying, I'm not gonna deal with it. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm not gonna go towards it. And this Emperor in the reverse, who hasn't been able to stand up in their power, is sort of handing off this pentacle and saying, hey, you know, if you just stir the shit pot a little bit, the stuff's gonna come clean, and you're gonna see what was underneath and what shut something down. This person over here is, look, that's what I'm saying. They're scared for you to find it. I'll say that much, Gemini. They're afraid for you to find something. And for some of you, especially if you have water in your chart, that's not going to be enough. You may call up a friend and ask for help. You may enlist someone here to go ahead and do it for you, but there's too much of an emotional curiosity here for the Gemini. Two people who shut down and say, no, I don't want to look at this anymore or go any further. And then I have this little curious person going, you know, there's no way that I would believe that this is what they said or that's how that went down. And I do see someone kind of reaching out and asking a friend or another person like, hey, don't tell my family I did this, but can you check on such and such for me? I want to see if it's real or if it's right and what action was sort of taken, what choices were taken. So I do have someone like, Gemini, you're just not going to let it go. So, you know, here, I bequeath you the permission that you need to go hunting. To go a-hunting you shall go, to figure out what this is and what this person said and what they meant, because it's going to drive you nuts otherwise. Yeah. It's like if at first you don't succeed, go try again. Because I don't see this person... I don't know, it's almost like someone is like, prove it. You don't believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, then go look for it. Prove me wrong, because I'm not wrong. They want to come in with an offer here of a relationship. They see that you're free, they see that you're single, and you could definitely go in there and offer some love to this person. And for some of you, it's sort of like, you don't want to accuse someone falsely of doing something falsely. That's what I see. So we do have a friend or a friendship here if this is a reader or something like this. But I do have someone that you can quite possibly ask with the King of Pentacles in the upright to kind of come in and help and assist in some way to gain the answers to the questions that you have. Because I don't think Gemini is just going to leave it like that. I really don't. Because it'll change everything, you know, it'll change all the answers once you go after this and you find out what this is. The person who originally said this story has gone silent and you are thinking about them. It's sort of like if this was an unjust situation, than did they let it go? Why did they let it go? It's like somebody is digging even further. They can't just let it be. And they're not going to. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you permission to go ahead and do what you got to do. For some of you, this is a person who manages the money that you use, or they have the money that you use, and so you don't want to press anything. Or I have relationship in the reverse. And a proposal. Legal matters that everybody kind of knew about. I do see you making those phone calls. You're going to have the answer that you need, Gemini, within a week. And I have at least 2 people who do not want you to find the answers to these questions. Not at all. Yeah, this is someone you definitely know. And the information on this person kind of scares you. Choose well, then give it everything you've got. Friendship makes you rich beyond measure. Yeah, you're going to need to go find your friend, man. I say go for it. Show me Gemini, please. It says trash, but it's in the reverse. Don't throw this away. There's that bugaboo. That's the friend that I'm talking about. But we're going to this person to ask them if another person were they harmed? You know, did something happen? I have sexual protection in the upright. A love story that's in the reverse. And a pregnancy test in the upright. Red lipstick, paints their lips red in the reverse, and something outdated in the reverse. No, it ain't outdated. It's still going on. You know, I have nothing. I hate nothing about you. So this is somebody who's saying, I can't stand you. No. It seems to be some sort of sexual connection between 2 people here, and it's still going on for one of them. They don't believe the story that the other person said. But okay, if you're single and you're dealing with someone else who like came in and then they left, someone's trying to defend themselves. That's what I see here. And we have this investigation going on. Someone could have had children. Children could have been the issue, or maybe they want to have their own children. And I see here for some of you Geminis, it's a big issue because maybe you can't have children or you don't want to have any more children. But this person does. And there's a cookie trail, actually. You're going to be able to find some legal documents about all of this and what's really been going on if you do your homework. And there's like a friend that can help. What's going on for Gemini, please? It says, I am afraid to contact you. We will be together again. What's going on with Gemini, please? I wish I could take back my words. I left you before you could leave me. Finding out the truth crushed me. And I know that I crossed a line with you. Show me some cards for Gemini, please. I don't really know you. I've been struggling. I know I made a mistake. I am not coming back. I'm sorry. On the underside of the deck, it says, thank you for leaving me. Okay. Give me a couple of cards for Gemini, please. I am getting a rejection of a suitor because this person does not fit the family. It says, I feel empty and hollow inside. I cannot open up right now. This situation has become very difficult for me to manage mentally. It is draining me. I feel alone and in the dark. Where is my light? Rejecting you is protecting myself. I was being selfish. I have karmic debts that need to be paid before I can come back to you. It says, I think of you at night when the world is asleep and my mind is awake. I am seeing someone, but I am not ready for you to know about them yet. My focus is on my life. I can't be bothered to worry about you. And on the underside of the deck, it says, I feel unworthy of having love in my life. I feel miserable and lost. All right, so that's your reading, Gemini. Have a very good week, and I will see you guys next time, okay? Mwah.